The Poet's Perspective podcast is brought to you by Urban Grind Coffee House. What better way than to start your day by grabbing life by the beans? Coffee beans, that is. Visit urbangrindatlanta.com to get coffee delivered right to your doorstep. And be sure to use the discount code POETRY to save 15% on your next pound of coffee. And if you'd like to be a part of the culture and represent the eclectic vibe and positive energy that Urban Grind has to offer, you can choose from our selection of brand new Urban Grind apparel. And if you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you visit Urban Grind for their selection of specialty coffees, sandwiches, and pastries while you get your studying done, working on that $1 million idea, or just meeting up with friends. Urban Grind Coffee House. Keep grinding. Muva The Creator.
What's going on?
Shout out to everybody that's joined us. So the feature we have this evening, man, I'm super excited to have this conversation with her. I've seen her around Atlanta tearing up stages. I know she has an Introverse coming up. This young lady is not only a poet, she's a curator, she is a mother, and she is a voice for the people. I think is that accurate to say?
That's accurate. That's pretty accurate.
I would say that. So Muva The Creator, ladies and gentlemen. So I gave the people a little bit, but you can go ahead and introduce yourself to the people if just in case I ain't do you no justice.
You know what? You did great. I feel like I was supposed to send you a bio and it slipped my mind.
No. You know what? It's all good because people were sending me bios and I was reading them. And then I'm like, you know what? I just need to say what I feel. No more is scripted. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people gonna know you after this for sure.
Right on.
But Muva The Creator. So how it goes? You pretty much have the floor. You can spit 3 pieces or so, whatever's on your heart, and then we'll get into it a little bit afterwards. So you got the floor.
Right on. I'm gonna do a little bit more of a bio intro for myself. I am a spoken word artist. I've been doing this since about 2004. Is when I first started hitting stages, and I didn't hit like regular open mic stages. I was in Seattle Repertory Theater in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center, Little Rock Repertory Theater. Like I'm a co-writer of a play called The Hip Hop Project, which I did in college. And we were able to tour and kind of go all over the place. But that's where my training for the stage comes from. Like, so, yeah, that's that in a nutshell. I'm also, I'm a woman of many things. You know what I mean? I'm a mom, before anything. So that's the Muva The Creator. All right. So let's get into this.
All right, judge.
And you're right. I do have an Introverse battle coming up. So let me see what I can do that I, without giving my whole bag away. Right on.
The floor is yours. Whatever you got.
All right.
I feel that though.
My blessing is a gift and a curse. God gave me this tongue with it the power of verse. Now some spit that comes out, I'm sure is man-made. However, some is anointed, so you just might crave. But don't compare yourself to me. Prepare yourself to be the next best thing when my cipher is complete. Some seasons repeat, some systems defeat. Governmental religion is on the creep, so eyes on the prize, little black boys and girls. See, what you can't see now is that God gave you the world, but don't judge a book by its cover. Intimidation kept a lot of folk from reading the Bible. Soon you'll learn to recognize those undercover lovers. In due time, you just got to open your mind. Respect his grind, because you never know what's in those eyes. See, what he's seen could haunt your dreams. Karma is now 360 degrees and in full bloom and ready to knock you down harder than a big girl named Katrina. And don't look for FEMA. Now the team you thought you had turned out to be a fad. Ain't that some shit? Now meditate on this. If you ain't growing and you ain't showing no signs of change, then you're not allowed to blame nor complain nor throw dirt on any names. It's not that I'm insane or you're too plain. You see, I'm still the same. I just continue to feed my head, eat my bread. If you ain't checked that, you might want to check your pulse. You might be dead. That's
hey.
that.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and keep going. We with you. We with you.
Right on, right on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slide into this next one. Um, how can I love somebody else if I can't love myself enough to know when it's time to let go. See, I craved y'all's acceptance and I feared their rejection, so I gave up being the exception. I put my soul down. I exchanged that for some sin. I lost myself and couldn't hear from within. I couldn't face myself or my pen. Grins were harder from the men who then professed they love for me, but whose walk only minimalistically compared to the soldier in me. See, it ain't no way they could have carried my cross. And you got to learn to follow before you can boss. And for some, it takes 40 years of being lost. Now, that's once you get up out of Egypt. Now, this ain't even counting the ones that don't know that we's free. See, some of us are still slaves to the trees. Whether hanging or slanging, got them all meditating, moving that weight. You can't be moving and waiting for a sign from the man. See, you must thoroughly understand his plan. That means you got to read it for yourself. It is detrimental to your health that you do not follow the masses. Classless futures are promised. So as the dumb become bums and the rich continue to run from the ones who lucked up and defied the odds and got those good jobs, them snobs that used to be in the barrel with the rest of the crabs now laugh at the ones who opted out of the abortions. Ooh. Standing in line waiting on a portion of American pie. You see, the ones that laugh will probably die, which is why they didn't even try to carry the gift of life. Despite the trite appearance of the crowd, get past the smell of the loud. Plus the fact that our youth be floating on some clouds. Dig deep and listen to those judgmental sounds that circulate inside of your head. And realize that there may be a piece of you that is already dead, and the only way to deliver it is to go through the birthing process. You got to savor the pain of this enormous abscess as you face your truth. Die to yourself and become the living proof, or remain aloof to the world around you. Now as darkness surrounds you and your neighbor's grass astounds you, the profound you might be lost in translation, penetration of these verses and curses of generations that never was. And the only thing that can save you is love of self. It's not the wealth. And until the decline of your health, you still won't see the majesty in his creation. Reevaluate your foundation, especially if you find that your faith has been shaken. It may mean that you've been faking or perhaps just chasing a dream that never belongs to you. I speak of things I've already been through. Now, under the sun, nothing is new. And if the devil is a liar, then we know that God is the truth. Reboot and allow yourself to go through that storm that was designed just for you. You will only come out stronger. But the longer you meditate in bitterness, why hell, the longer you will have to travel through that wilderness. But the sad part is it's a lot of folk that still don't understand, which is why there is an entire generation that never made it to see the promised land. Yeah.
Hey.
Right on.
Right on. Hey, you take us. Like I said, we following you. We following your lead. We right with you.
Right on. All right. I'm gonna give you an oldie but a goodie because it's 3. We doing 3, right?
Yeah. Or whatever's in your heart. 3 is good though. 3 is good.
I'm debating between genocide and American made. Genocide and American made.
Genocide sounds like chaos. Genocide.
Genocide?
Genocide.
Right on. All right. I was 17 years old when I wrote Genocide. So here is one of my first mini masterpieces. Word. So my journey began in biology at this all-white school with no one who thought like me, but I was all right with that. Because, see, I've always walked with the world on my back. Besides, I was not born to be no follower. See, I'm a descendant from a long line of conquerors, but that the point is beside. See, y'all, I was placed here to break down my theory on this genocide. So I'm in class with my hand held high because I got this question that's eating me up inside. So teacher, please help me to understand this concept of pigmentation and the world's first man.
Mm.
But see, instead of helping me, he made it clear to me that I still wasn't free to ask the questions relevant to finding my ancestry. But don't think that stopped me from wanting to know, because after that is when my mental actually began to grow. But I came across some stuff one day that made me stop what I was doing just to pray. See, this cat who went by the name of Lynch, he found a way to control us without using whips. What he developed was a time bomb created to self-destruct. And when it's time to erupt, the major casualty would be the African mentality. Now, the last poets warned us to pay attention to our evolution. Instead, they referred to it as a revolution. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes. But see, let me slow down, because I'm starting here to beat the African drums. Now, I hope y'all understand that slavery was the first empire of its kind. Here I can bring everybody up into our time. Just like slavery, we making all these cats rich. And none of our communities are seeing profits from the Tommies, the Calvins, the Guests, and Old Navies. It's funny that they can't sell a cell phone without the help of Jay-Z. But let me ask y'all a question. Maybe it'll help free us from this oppression. Have you ever heard of Kankakee? Better yet, take a journey down your local Court Street. If you pay attention to where we shop, you will unconsciously witness how fast the dollar leaves our block. We being sold all these bogus products, and unintentionally we helping to construct another empire, because we slaves to fashion. But quick to see somebody whack and start bashing what they rocking, because they ain't copping that real shit. When the reality is, we're in the middle of a conflict with self, because we so self-conscious. But I can bring it back. I can bring it back and tell y'all why sometimes you look in the mirror and want to cry. Why we lack self-love and indulge in self-hatred. We were created in the image of God. And we're almost so perfect that somebody got scared and convinced us that we were odd. Now, Africans in America are a unique race. We evolve and live at our own pace. Never have we fit into American society, not to mention the overwhelming amount of variety. See, we come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Hell, why y'all think everybody else want us as their lovers? People tan for weeks just to look like we. They get lip jobs, nose jobs, butt jobs, blow jobs, NAACP jobs. It sucks that we still can't get jobs. Y'all, we had a president that feared us. His father wanted to send us back to Africa by bus. They told us that we were inferior in order for another race to feel superior. But if we are such this ugly race of people, then why do so many people view us as lethal? Hands up, don't shoot. And if you pay attention to some of these traps that our brothers fall victim to because of the way they wear their baseball caps, 2 tickets will get your driving privileges seized. And don't bother asking for any help with any of your needs. Everybody knows you can't feed a baby air, and it's not that easy to walk everywhere. So when you get in your car and get ready to drive to work and the police pulls you over and put your face in the dirt, the price to pay for driving without your L's is jail. But see, hold on. Here's where you really into hell. It's supposed to be a violation because of that little conviction if you vote. So we get stuck with people like President Bush, whose actions and name are synonymous with the word puss. And because of Bush and Dick and Colin and their ironic names, a lot of people get caught up into playing games. So don't think you go get a decent job with people like this in office because you forced into a hustle to get out of this sorry situation. We find ourselves locked in this nation where we all racing for a better tomorrow. A place with better days where our kids can grow. A place where it's okay to be a kid. A place to grow up like our parents did, where penny candy and Chico sticks are easy to find and grown-ass men aren't interested in little girls behind. Where if any grown person heard you cussing, it was your head they'd be busting. A place where you didn't have to hide from the massive destruction of the world outside. Where if somebody looked at your punk ass funny, nigga, you can let it ride. But see, if you're not searching for this place, why hell, you just committing suicide. Because you're sitting down waiting for this genocide. That's that.
Hey, Muva the Creator. And you know what? I'm actually so glad you did that piece, because that's actually where I wanted to start. I have that written down. It all started in biology class. Because the things you were talking about at the beginning of that piece, as far as like, you know, trying to find out who you really are and the power of the pigment that we have. Your curiosity sounds very similar to mine at that time. You talk a lot about self-love. And it's interesting to me. I was watching an interview you did with Jay Rose, And you were talking about how you didn't always have like the confidence and things like that, which was ironic to me because like when I hear you spit and I've seen you speak like act in like actual places, like your energy fills up a room and it's like your head is held high. You wouldn't think that. So talk
The God
about
in me.
yeah, yeah. So talk about the role that poetry played in finding the greatness that was in you and finding out what your gifts were.
Word. Um, so you know how everybody moves to Atlanta and like Atlanta's going to be like, oh, I'm finna be on, you know?
Absolutely.
The pictures look good, all the houses bigger, like life is just better in Atlanta. And a lot of people think that and they move here, right? I wasn't one of those people that thought that, but it's a lot of people that probably thought that when they saw me make the move to come down here, right? So within the midst of all of the transition of coming down here, somewhere in the shuffle, I ended up homeless with 4 children and my husband, right? And within that, I had to send my children away, and I was determined to thug it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not going home. So I sent my children away for the summer, and I ended up down here. And I couldn't, for the life of me, get a job. Like I couldn't get a fucking job. My resume is awesome. I couldn't get a job.
And
So
you got a master's, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I have a master's in business administration.
Wow.
My undergraduate degree is in communications. And I also have some military training in my background. I was a combat medic in the Army. But anyway, neither here nor there. I was hungry one day, you know what I mean? So I went and I got a cup. So all I had in my kit, I got a cup and I laced up my sneakers and I walked to a barber shop and I said, hey, can I spit? Like, and just sharpen my sword. That's all I got. All right, God, that's all I got. Is my mouth, my gift, me, and time. You know what I mean? And I went into a barber shop and I spit and I came out of that barber shop after hour, 2 hours with like $150.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, let me keep rocking and see what it do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I ended up in Little 5 Points. I'm in Little 5 Points and I'm spitting on the corner. And his brother comes up to me, this Jamaican cat. And he's like, you know, he put some money in my cup. And then he was like, so what you doing out here? And I was like, it's just what I got right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I got a degree, but you know, shit. I be trying to tell Sally Mae they can come get this motherfucker every time they call for the student loan. You know?
Right?
Ain't doing shit for me.
Hey, for real.
And he goes, yo, that's your personal equity. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, it's your personal equity. Like those things that you have, that you've acquired and you've attained, no one can take those things from you. And I suppose it's all about perspective, because I realized in that moment, I wasn't looking at anything that I had accomplished as anything of value. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until recently, like recently I started selling cars recently. And I discovered along that journey, I don't sell cars, right? You need a car. People need cars. I sell my energy. I lend my energy.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm just allowing you to borrow my energy so you're comfortable throughout your process.
Absolutely.
Anyway, all of those things that are my personal equity, I'm starting to learn are those things that make me stand out from, you know what I mean, other people. So and it's funny because that whole self-love, self-care thing, all of those things, I didn't know that self-love was a thing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know you had to, I didn't know that self-care, self-love is a thing until I became a mom and a wife, and I put me completely on the back burner, and I'm making sure everybody's good, but nobody's making sure I'm good. So that's how you know what I mean? I began to understand, like, oh, because I didn't know what self-care was. You know what I mean? I didn't know what those things are. It was just you keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like
right.
And yeah. So all that.
Yeah, so that's interesting, and I love that story because that's self-love and having confidence in yourself. I know like that's one of the things that's probably been like one of my biggest obstacles in life. I mean, even just doing this, like I appreciate talking to people, but I'm like, God, I gotta talk to people. Are they gonna like me? Are they gonna do this? Are they gonna think that? You know, so that's always been one of my biggest things. And definitely when you talk about, graduating and you having a degree and feeling like it's worth nothing, I've been there before. I mean, thousands of dollars in loans later, I've definitely been there before. So it's interesting that you say that. But I wanna go to something that I also heard that you say in a previous interview, a couple of missed opportunities. Can we talk about Do or Die? One of my
Yeah.
favorite rap group. I'm actually slick kind of mad at you for that because that's one of my favorite groups. And
So
God, hold on, but
again,
but 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 I'm not done though. I'm not done. I'm not done. Can we talk about Def Poetry Jam and how we supposed to be watching you on there? But that's neither here nor there. Go
I
ahead.
don't I don't think we were supposed to be watching me on there.
That is true. That is
I
true.
don't. I think,
I feel
and see,
you.
I think that we're often tricked by being told that like opportunity only knocks once.
Mm,
Opportunity knocks four, five, six, seven, 8 times, however many times it need for you to like to make it happen.
absolutely.
Now, if I believe that if you choose this way, you're gonna have a different type of struggle. But if you choose, you know what I mean? If you,
Mm-hmm.
I, I was 17 years old when B-Lo approached me from Do or Die about getting on
Mm-hmm.
the album. And I didn't think it was like, I thought he was just trying to get fresh with me, like low key. You know what I mean? I thought he was just trying to get fresh with me. And it's funny because I had did Genocide. That was my first poem I had ever done. So you telling me the first poem I ever wrote. You telling me the first poem I ever wrote, you want
Got you on the
as an
album.
introduction to your motherfucking album. How, Sway? I ain't that good. I ain't that good.
That's
And here I am now, like 15 years later, doing this poem, and it's timeless and it's classic. And I now understand what I was sitting on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't feel like I was ready.
Mm.
When it
Everything's
comes
timing.
to everything is timing. When it comes to the situation with Russell Simmons in Death Court, I was green as fuck. I couldn't
Mm.
imagine, especially like now you hear like the stories. I couldn't
Right.
imagine having been the youngest person in that collective of people. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine the sharks that I would have been swimming with. I know
Mm.
now that I'm a shark and I probably wouldn't have had nothing to worry about. But looking back, like as a mother, even, you know what I mean? If this is the opportunity that my child has, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
I
But
can see that. I can see that.
everything comes full circle and does what it's supposed to do, you know?
Definitely. Definitely. But that's confidence in itself because a lot of people, look back and they have regrets and this and that. They have regrets on those missed opportunities. So to know that to know that the door is still gonna open and to be in that mindset, that's growth within itself right there. And that's
Word,
confidence and that's the faith that people go through their lives looking for. So the fact that you already in that mindset, that's amazing.
word.
So you have a piece, and I believe at the beginning of it, I don't want to give away your bag because I know um, you were talking about finding a peace of mind.
Hmm. What piece?
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. You just singing like I gotta find a peace of mind. Like you singing the hell out of it.
Gotta find peace of mind. I don't know because I put different songs with different poems. I gotta
But
find peace of mind. I think the poem I just did was that one that I sang Married to. It may have been.
possibly. But a peace of mind for Muva the Creator. What's that look like?
A peace, like peace of mind. Peace of mind. Peace. Um, knowing my children are safe,
Mm,
knowing God got my back,
mm,
knowing the path that I'm on is the one that God wants me on, knowing that I am right where I'm supposed to be right now in this moment.
mm. And that's man, that goes back to like the confidence and the faith that we were just talking about. That's it right there. Like
God,
that's what
God,
people yearn for. That's what people look for. So that's
and
powerful in itself.
and let me say this: like, I don't want my glow or anybody to mistake um my humble, my any of that kind of stuff when we speak of confidence, because I want to be clear in saying that, like, God pushed my face to the floor. God pushed my face to the floor to make me appreciate, respect, and understand what it is to be on the bottom, so
Mm,
that forevermore I will always be able to humbly say that I treat the janitor and the CEO like one and the same.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
my my confidence that people see is it's my confidence and comfort in God, not
Okay,
so much my confidence and comfort in me, but it's my
got you.
comfort and confidence in God, and knowing whatever situation He puts me in, I'm there for a reason, and I'm going to be all right in it.
And again, that's true confidence. Like that's faith. That is literally faith right there. And God, I just realized it's almost 9 o'clock. I got so much. I had so much. But let me see. Just a couple more questions. You mentioned the last poets, and I seen on one of your posts you had Nina Simone on there. And like I said, I was watching one of your interviews. You had mentioned something Georgia Me had said. So who are your poetry influences?
My poetry influences, um, off the rip, um, Black Ice.
Of
I
course,
saw Black
legend.
Ice when I was in high school at a coffee shop in Hazelwood, Illinois, Hazelcrest, Illinois, somewhere Hazelcrest, Illinois. And it was just this little bitty hole in the wall. Like, I wasn't. Oh, we just going to hear some poetry, and it was Black Ice, and this
Did you
was
know?
like,
Did you know he was gonna be there?
no, no,
Wow.
and I was completely taken back. Like, who the fuck is this person who has the ability to take words and make me feel what he made me feel? Like,
Let's go.
you know what I
That's
mean?
black.
Like,
That's black ice.
that it's like this energy conduction that took place. Like, it was crazy. So after hearing him is when I went home and started writing Genocide.
Mm.
So if I had never heard that form of expression, I never would have went home and write to write. You know what I mean? Or even to know
Wow.
that existed, that form existed. So then, um, definitely Georgia Me, definitely Georgia Me, but more so than her poetry, um, her presence. Does that make
Mm.
sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I
Her
think that's what makes her great.
yeah, her presence and what she can do to a room. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, oh, here's a good one. So I have this intro verse coming up, right?
Absolutely.
I saw Roddy for the first time when I was at Southern Fried a few years ago in San Antonio.
Okay.
Um, and I just appreciate the conductor that she was. She was like a thermostat. She
Mm.
controlled the entire room. When it got quiet, it's because she got quiet. When it got amped up, it's because she got amped up. And
Mm.
it was really interesting what she did with the energy in the room. Of course, Maya, because whose first time dipping their toes in some poetry as a young Black girl was in Maya Angelou. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think
Legend.
And Still I Rise was the first poem I ever memorized and performed for an audience on a stage. Um,
Mm.
and then just writers, period. Asada Shakur, for sure. I don't know if you ever read her. autobiography, but she has like some poetry sprinkled in there.
I haven't. One of my homies just sent it to me though, so it's on the way. It's on the
Yeah,
way.
indeed. I named one of my kids after her.
Wow.
And then again, writing style, Sister Soldier. I appreciate
Of
her
course. Of course.
writing style.
Of course.
So
Um,
my poetry influences, that was a wide mix, wasn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely, as it should be, but it's reflected in your poetry though, which actually brings me to my last question for you. So you have a voice that's, I don't want to say it's for the people, it's kind of cliche, but a lot of your poems, you have a unique perspective on America and Black people, and a lot of your poems are empowering people that look like us, people that have this. Some people call it the African American experience,
Right.
and you are empowering people in a lot of your pieces. Where does that come from? Where does that love for the people come from, and that wanting to see people empowered? Where's that come from?
Um, I suppose God, and the times that I've felt powerless. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah,
Like the times where I didn't anything that I go through, and I really believe anything we go through, you don't go through it for yourself. You're going through it for somebody else. You know what I
right.
mean? And that also helps you to keep perspective when you're going through some stuff, especially as a writer or as a creator. God was a creator. You know what I mean? So um our walks, I think, are spit shined a little bit grittier than other people, especially depending on whatever is supposed to be in you. You know what I mean? Whatever message it is that you're supposed to deliver and bring forth or birth, whatever that is. um but my inspiration, my everything comes from God and the things that I've been through and the things that I've seen. I've had moments in my life where I felt like my perspective was a curse, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's funny
Why
for
why
other
you say
people.
why you say that? Break that down a little bit. What you mean? Your perspective being a curse.
Like there were times when I felt like I'm too heavy for the room, or I'm too much. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The way that I see it and feel it and understand it, when it ain't that big a deal, but it really is a big deal.
Right, and so that's the reason I asked that question. You could easily, and I see like you and Kenzo Instagram, like y'all having fun, y'all messing around, laughing or whatever. So you can easily write something that's like, something that's gonna make people laugh and they gonna like
Yeah,
it, and give you hugs and claps. But
I'm a
but you
really light
choose
spirited person, but
but you
I'm
choose to
really
gravitate towards those poems that's like that's heavy, that's gonna make you that's gonna put something up here.
And I don't even know if it's that I choose to gravitate towards that. It's just, if I have your attention and I have a moment, I'm not gonna waste it and put
Mm.
my vagina on your brain. I'm not going to waste it. You know what I'm saying? And by that I mean I'm not gonna sit here and waste your time and my time talking about my coochie when it's a whole war going on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
I'm not going to do that. And it's no knock to anybody who that's the lane and that they gravitate towards, but in good conscience have all of somebody's attention and not say shit and not
And
say
you know what? And
anything.
and every time I perform, that is the last thought I have before I go on stage. Like, these people are giving me their time, I can't waste it. So, I
Yeah.
think all poets should have that mentality. I mean, not everybody, coochie poems are cool too. They're much needed out here, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
fun to laugh
can't be
and
wasting
stuff,
people's
but it's
time.
just me, I can't. And
I
I think
feel
I
you.
got that from CeeLo Green. Yeah. He said
Okay.
something like, any chance to speak, I refuse to misuse. It was something to that effect, and aligned with the song with Common. I want to say it was Gaining One's Definition, God.
Mm. Oh yeah, that's a classic. That's a
Yeah,
classic.
I think it was in that one. But
Okay.
I love his writing style. Andre 3000 as well. Andre 3000 and
Of
CeeLo
course.
Green are in Talib Kweli, some of my biggest writing influences.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta throw Talib in there. You from New York, right?
No, no, I'm from
No?
Kankakee, Illinois.
Okay, okay.
And
Oh,
I
you
got
could
some.
have you could have fooled me. You got New York swag. I don't know if you heard that before. I thought it was all up top. Okay, you learn something new every
No,
day.
no, no. I
Okay.
mean, I have some New York in me from time to time, but I'm not from New York. But I do hail from Queens. So.
See, see, there we go. There we go.
Sorry.
Queens is in the building. I knew it was in there somewhere. I knew it was in there somewhere. Yo, Muva the Creator, man, I could keep going, man, but I don't want to hold you up. I appreciate you coming on here. Um, amazing poetry. Your voice is heavy. Your voice is heavy, and I want to let you know that yeah, people listen. Like your voice fills rooms, not just section wise, but the weight of your words. I want you to know that that's something that's where I think the power of your poetry is, just me personally, for what it's worth. You know, I
Yeah.
think that's where the power of your poetry is. But go ahead and tell the people what you got coming up, where they can find you. Any final thoughts for the people?
Yeah, so you can find me all over social media under Muva the Creator, of course. That's me. That's where I'm at. I also sell cars. If you're in the Metro Atlanta area and you're in the need for a vehicle, you can also holler at me there too. Shoot me a DM. I'll get you into something. What else? I'm one half of Kiss Your Mother with That Mouth. We do writers workshops as well as an open mic, a dope ass open mic called Sunday School ATL. I'm also working on a one woman show. But don't worry, when it's time for that, I'm gonna be all over the place selling tickets and stuff. So
We got a time frame for that?
my goal is October of next year.
Okay, okay.
My father's birthday, I'd like to be in the theater. Like I'm renting out my own theater, all of it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, I appreciate it. I appreciate talking to you. Um, I'm gonna have to get you and Kiss on here together, a little tag team action. If y'all be up
Hey
for
Kiss,
that, I think that would
what are
be
you
kind of
doing?
dope.
Come here.
We gonna have to get y'all back for a full session though, a full session. But Mother the Creator, man, I appreciate it. Keep doing your thing out here. Um, and yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye. Ready?